How do they feel about you? New pick a card reading, timeless tarot from me and Valentine. You have got in front of you 3 piles of cards and numbers 1, 2, 3, and then 3 quite strange little objects that I had on the floor of the tarot room. They're actually little talismans for me. It's just I'm not very tidy. Okay, so a little bit of history. Number 1 is a little china pig. This one. As with all things, I can't remember where this came from, but I've always loved it. It looks kind of humble and kind of cute. Number 2 is a little owl. My son gave me that and it's just been knocking around. It's a little talisman for me. I think it's kind of representing some sort of wisdom. And number 3 is a little angel. This I think I might have bought for myself, or a friend might have given to me. Like all good things, I can't remember where it came from. I always think that's a really good sign. So that feels kind of eternal, okay? So you will be drawn to 1, 2 or 3. I will put in the timestamps in the description box, the number for 1, 2 or 3, okay? So you can go straight to that once you've done this, once you've chosen, and you can find your how do they feel about you answers, okay? We've got romance cards, we've got Smells Like the 70s, Morgan Greer, we've got an animal spirit card and a Brian and Wendy Frood. Okay, so deep breath. Deep breath, Valentine. Good girl. Some of you may be drawn to more than one. My pick a card readings seem to be that way. Doesn't matter, just look them both up in the description box, okay? So take as long as you like and I'll see you on the other side. Namaste. Hi there, you chose number 1. Okay, this is the little pig. And this is Valentine that joins us for the reading. Valentine loves a pick a card reading. You chose number 1. Let's see what you got. I'm not reading reversals, okay? It's just a decision. Oh, this is nice. Oh, just a decision that came to me before I did the reading. I normally do reversals in my dailies and my monthlies, but not for this. Okay, oh my God. Right. Where to begin? There will be an extended reading following this if you want to do a deeper dive, okay? So just look for the Vimeo link in the description box. The lovers, the lovers. Straight out with the lovers. Major Arcana card, and of course the lovers can mean different things. Of course it means you're dealing with some kind of love situation usually. For this, I'm very strongly getting the choice. A choice to be made, perhaps even between people, okay? I'm really getting that quite strongly. The lovers used to be called the choice before it became the lovers. And it often, weirdly, not in this one, the Morgan Greer, this is just a man and a woman, but often it shows 3 people. Or a third element somehow. This person or you have choices, maybe even options, or for some of you, and this might just be 1 or 2 of you, they are with someone else, as in you may have broken up and it feels like they're with someone else, but it feels like quite a shallow relationship. So they may have been with someone for a few weeks, a few months, or be casually dating, or you think you've seen them on a dating site, you know. It doesn't, well, just for literally 1 or 2 of you, there may have been a third party when you were in the relationship. If there was, you know about it already. Okay, for a lot of you, this relationship has hit the snooze button. There's been a separation. There's been a lot of confusion. I'm feeling confusion. Their feelings, how do they feel about you, have gone through different stages. It feels a bit like seasons, if that makes sense. You know that they've gone, I don't know if you've ever seen a film called Notting Hill. Okay, really famous film, Hugh Grant, about 15 years ago, maybe even 20. There's the most, and if you haven't seen it, look it up, it'll be on YouTube. There's this one little scene where Hugh Grant walks, he's heartbroken, he's in separation from Julia Roberts, I mean, come on. And he walks through this marketplace in Notting Hill, most beautiful part of London, okay, I can vouch for that, it's gorgeous. And it's just one of the nicest cinematography things I've ever seen, okay, and I'm not really into films. It goes through the 4 seasons as he walks through and the people change. Have a look. I might see if I can put the video up as a clip, but check it out anyway. This feels like the person you're dealing with and you have been through seasons in a relationship. Most likely, the season that you're currently in is a season of separation and trial, is what I get. Also likely is that they're dating. They're dating, or their profile is back online. Maybe your profile is back online, and it just feels like their feelings for you are in flux. They're kind of experimental. They're passing through different seasons. It may have been for some of you, because I've got the 3 of Cups here. 3 of Cups next to the Lovers. You can see why I'm making this connection, okay? 3 of Cups is also a card of broad meanings. It can mean a third party, as can the Lovers. So for a couple of you, that is it. It can also mean, with the 3 of Cups, that you have the 2 of Cups. When you met this person, it was fast, it was passionate, there was chemistry, you fell in love quickly, okay? Even if it was only a brief relationship, it flared up really quickly. 3 of Cups is when somebody toasts the connection. You take your love to town. You become a +1 at the wedding with this person. You meet their parents, they meet your kids. Whatever it is, it moves to the next level with the 3 of Cups. This particular relationship may have had difficulty moving to the next level. May have had, I don't know why I'm getting so many seasons, may have had difficulty moving from the season of limerence and passion and quite a lot of connection to reality and everydayness and, you know, meeting the parents and the more kind of traditional structure of what we call in our society a relationship, okay? Again, for 1 or 2 of you, this person may have already been in a relationship, or there may have been a particularly prominent ex, they may have been going through a divorce. Just got this 3rd cup. And for a lot of you, the combination in this relationship was that it couldn't make it from the private meeting phase to the public being in a couple phase because there was a third party stopping it. That third party doesn't always, but it probably is in this case, but doesn't always have to be another romantic interest. It could be a child, it could be an ex, you know, it could be their mother or father, God knows, but it was a barrier. And for some of you with these 3 cups, I just get that you made it through spring, summer and autumn, but you never made it to the winter. You know, you got through 3 seasons, but you never made it to the full enchilada. This relationship had a lot of potential, and that has caused you a lot of heartache and them a lot of confusion. For them, their feelings are split between you and another person, between you and another thing, between the life with you and their own private life, whether that's work, whether they had you know, a child that needed special attention, or a situation that needed special attention, or even whether they were still, you know, they were separated but still living in the same house as their ex because they finances or looking after children are coming into this quite a lot, actually, because they had responsibilities. And again, the connection is big. Okay, you don't get the lovers in 3 cards. One of them's the lovers in the middle, unless it's like, you know, tst. And also tst, not just, you know, pinging of the knicker elastic, but pinging of the heartstrings too. You've got both. That's pretty potent. It's pretty dynamic. Okay, pretty dynamic. It's strong. But this person that you're dealing with, their feelings are very intense and they change. You could be dealing with a Gemini because the Lovers is Gemini. You could be dealing with a water sign, 3 of Cups, of course, water signs. If so, probably a Scorpio or a Pisces. I wouldn't have said this was a Cancerian. It doesn't feel particularly like that to me. But also it could be a younger fire sign, likely a Leo if it's a fire sign, okay? Their feelings flash up. That's why I've got the Page of Wands. Okay, so we have the Lovers, the knicker elastic, which hasn't even got any knickers on, and the Lovers. So we all know where we stand with the Lovers, don't we? Yeah, cool. And then the 3 of Cups. This could also have been a relationship that was characterised by the 2 of you socialising, maybe getting drunk a lot, having fun a lot, you know, a lot of bedtime, a lot of eating bowls of pasta without any pants on. It just feels like a really fast, big connection. For some of you, this could have lasted like 6 weeks or 3 months, okay? That's also Page of Wands energy. It's rushy, it's passionate, it's, you can see I'm getting this like this, it's all chicka-chicka, it's all like that. But there was an interrupt. This person has a lot of feelings for you, and what I'm getting is that they're reawakening a bit. This definitely went on to snooze, I'm not going to lie. This person either shut you out, had to shut you out because of their other person or their other responsibilities. They couldn't ride 2 horses with 1 butt, you know, it's that kind of thing. That's not a great analogy, Gemma, but never mind. Okay, look, animal spirit card, we get bear. And the bear card is about coming out of a cave. It's about coming out of hibernation. Their feelings for you went into hibernation. When do we hibernate? Winter, okay? Now, in the Northern Hemisphere, because I'm in the UK, we're going into winter. So if this has just happened, if you've just had a split with this person, okay, you may have to see it through a winter period. Now, that can be literally winter, you know, now, November, December, some of October, January, like a 4-month cycle maybe, or it can be like a metaphorical winter. This is the winter of a relationship, okay? I like that. If this has just happened to you, if you have just recently split with somebody, you may have to play your cards right and practice going into some kind of hibernation yourself. Now, in the extended reading, I'm going to be looking at ways through this situation, ways forward, how to best utilize your assets, your behavior, and also how to look after yourself so that you come out of this with the best outcome, and also where they're heading with it, okay? But for now, just know this is hibernation, but the bear is kind of stirring in the cave. Now, the reason I say that, because quite as easily that bear could be crawling into the cave, you know, and like, cheers then, I've had my pot noodle, you know, and 10 loaves of bread, I'm off to sleep. But no, because Romance Angel Oracle card I get is reconciliation. That's what I mean. It seems to me that there is a turn in the seasons. It's my turn in the seasons mime. That this bear is waking up. Now, if you are dealing with someone, this sounds really weird, okay? This is maybe only for one person. You might be dealing with someone with a lot of facial hair who's literally a bear, or a hairy chest, or a hairy back, or just a hairy body. For some of you, this is just for one of you actually, you call this person your big bear, or something like that, okay? You have a nickname that is to do with a bear. Reconciliation is slow. I do feel it's possible. I do feel it's slow. I get your energy, okay? Because if this is you and you had that kind of loving with this person, this Page of Wands, this lovers, this kind of sensual, furious, graphic, strong connection, okay, which you did and they did too, that is difficult to be patient with. It's difficult to let that slide into winter. Of course it is, because this could have happened to you this summer. A lot of people I noticed had fleeting, quick, boiled up romances around the time of July. Could be July 2018, which was equally as tricky, or July 2019. And then a lot of people, this ended in August, end of August. There was a lot of energy going on. Mercury was retrograde during that time. Many planets were retrograde. We moved into Leo season and it was really, really tough. Okay, so it could have affected you around then. In the middle, Brian and Wendy Frood, we've got the gift. This is a woman wearing a mask. And in her hands is this egg shape. This is the gift of all the spiritual, romantic, for some of you psychic, fifth dimensional and personal experiences that you have had. This gift is going to help you with the seasonal timing of how to rescue this relationship, if that's the way that it should go, okay? This is going to help you to feel good about yourself while at the same time not needing this to happen on a particularly fast timeline, okay? Because I just get the feeling, especially if you're in separation with this person, that their feelings for you are reawakening, that their feelings for you have been dormant for a while, that they shut them off, and this reawakening needs to be handled really carefully, okay? So their feelings for you are coming out of hibernation. They've been dormant, they've been sleeping, they've been shut out. They may still have choices to make. The Three of Cups is still present. The Lovers is still present, okay? But thoughts of reconciliation are in the air, but they're not right now, okay? They're not immediate. I get the feeling if you tried to jump on this, that they'd go straight back into that cave, okay? Now, I'm going to do a deep dive. I'm going to go straight over to Vimeo and I'm going to look at all of it. I'm going to look at the Three of Cups, going to look at the Lovers. I'm going to see if we can get any court cards for personalities and people, but also I'm going to get the best course of action, I think, for you, because this is delicate. This is a delicate situation. It's complicated. And most of all, especially if this has just happened to you, you need a way of moving forward which honours yourself, but also honours the connection with this person, and also whatever casserole of nonsense is going on in their life, okay? Because there is one, isn't there? There is a casserole of nonsense going on in their life. And if you can hold all of those, things simultaneously, I think that there is a way forward. Okay, wowzers. So do subscribe to my YouTube channel, because I will be doing a lot more pick a card readings. I'm going to do a whole series. I will put the pick a card playlist in the description box, and the Vimeo link for the extended reading for this, hi sweetie, will also be first in the description box. So if you want to join me, click that. We'll go straight over there and have a deep dive. And otherwise, thank you for joining me, and I'll see you soon. Namaste. Hi there, you chose number 2. Okay, number 2, Valentine. What do we need to know? This is the gorgeous little owlie. I love this. No, I thought it was perfume, but it's not. Ooh. Its feet come off. I don't know if that's a good sign or not. Okay, number 2. What do we need to know? Okay. Interesting. Very interesting. Ooh, number 2. Okay. Wowzers. Okay. How do they feel about you? Right. Interesting. The Hermit. Somebody is in hermit mode. Very much in hermit mode. This is very tricky, number 2. I'm getting some interesting messages coming through about this person. So of course you could be dealing with a Virgo, because a Virgo is the Hermit card. But it's the traits of the Hermit that are really important here. The Hermit goes off to the edge of society and doesn't humanly interact with people. You know, sometimes they're not even having chocolate. I mean, come on, they're not having nice food. They're not having warm company. They're not normally having relations with anybody. They're essentially the card of the loner. It feels like this person either is a very independent spirit, or that's how they see you. It feels like there is a bit of an emotional disconnect with this person at the moment. It may be that there's been some kind of argument. There's been some kind of discussion. There's been some kind of severance, maybe. There's certainly been some kind of distance in terms of emotions and warmth and bodies. You know, you may not have been together in bed for a long time, even if you're together. You know, it feels like this very separate kind of feeling. And then over here I've got the Queen of Swords. Apologies for the drilling noises. The Queen of Swords, and she is herself quite detached. I mean, this is a very beautiful version of the Queen of Swords. She's got her roses, and it shows her kind of that she has this heart underneath the armour, okay? She has this softer side, but essentially she's got a massive sword. She's very kind of got a wall in front of her. She's very protective and protected. So we have the Hermit meeting the Queen of Swords. They feel that somehow you are at the moment not emotionally accessible to them. Now, I'm not saying that they're right. The way that somebody feels is not always the truth, is it? It's not your truth. But it feels like there's a block. They feel like there's a block. Now, you may well have blocked them. Or they may have blocked you. This, you know, these two, if you look at them, well, they were like, yeah, because it's back to front, isn't it? It's all so complicated. He's got his back to this Queen of Swords, and he's concentrating on finding this wisdom with the lamp. And she's concentrating on keeping her boundaries extremely straight and strong. And you could both be fixed signs, or you could be dealing with a fixed sign. We've got Aquarius for the Queen of Swords. It could be a Leo. It could be a Scorpio or a Taurus. Okay, you could be dealing here with a fixed sign. It's a weird thing to think, but their own stubbornness, I think they're projecting that onto you. I feel like they feel stubborn. It feels like an argument where two people feel they were right, or two people secretly know they were wrong, you know, almost the same thing. But their stubbornness, I feel like they're projecting it onto you. Now, you then get into this territory of, do you want to be happy or do you want to be right? It's quite difficult, this. I can see how you could lose your temper with this person. Completely see how you could lose your temper with this person. And maybe that's why you've had to keep things in check. You know, you may find that if you give this person an inch, they take a mile. And that you've had to maybe draw a line. You know, there's a lot of lines in this. They've got the, thou, you know, you shall not pass. And then she's got the, well, neither will you. It feels like butting heads. Then we get this beaver card, the water beaver. The water beaver is someone who works really hard. I feel like you may be dealing here, especially with that Virgo energy, the hermit energy, you might be dealing with someone who is a bit of a workaholic. I mean, it's an old-fashioned word now. I think everybody's a workaholic these days because jobs have become so complicated and difficult, and lives have become complicated and difficult, haven't they? But at the same time, this person takes refuge in their job or occupation, or it could even be a hobby. But you know, they're on their own on this. You know, they're on their own on this rock, boof, like this. Okay. The beaver is this very hard-working, you know, they get their head down, they do this, they do that, they make this happen, they make that happen. I think this person feels very much more comfortable in, it could even be someone who works in technician type thing, or IT, or something which doesn't involve human mess and emotions. You know, I don't think this person is in the caring professions. I don't think this person is an abstract painter. It feels like this person is contained. How do they feel about you? At the moment, they feel very contained about you. I think that they are working on a very logical level, okay? But at the same time, there's something that they haven't been telling you. It feels like there's something very deep down. It could be something about their childhood. It could be something about a past relationship, or it could be something about their relationship with you, even if you're not together at the moment, that they haven't shared with you in a way that they should. It feels like trust is a bit of an issue in this, actually. It feels to me as if you're mirroring each other. So they find it hard to show their emotions. They find it hard to trust. And because you haven't received that warmth back from them, it feels like you're in the position of being like a Queen of Swords character, of someone who doesn't trust yourself to let your feelings run away with you in a way that you would like to, because this person just seems to receive and then bury things. That's an old habit of theirs, okay? It's not necessarily an old habit of yours, but I feel like you've evolved and adapted because of the way that they are. Then we get this really interesting card, Brian and Wendy Frood. We get the rocks. Now the Rocks is a very interesting character. The Rocks is someone who's feeling secretly needy all the time. I know. How do they feel about you? Secretly needy. Brilliant. The Hermit is not someone who's going to like announce that he feels needy, okay? But the Rocks is when neediness goes bad. When neediness can't be, I mean, neediness is not actually a negative thing, it's a human thing. It's when you feel like you aren't getting enough of something, or you feel like you want something from someone else, usually more time, more attention, more whatever it is. But it's when you turn it in on yourself and you hate yourself for it, or you feel weak. This person feels weak. Emotions make this person feel exposed, vulnerable, and weak. They have this heavy cloak as the Hermit. They have this source of enlightenment here, which is introspection. They have their hood up, you know, like a teenager on the bus. And that's what they do if you try to talk to them emotionally. They put their hood up like a teenager on the bus and they just sort of squint at you like this. But inside, they're a bit of a mess. They're a bit of a mess. There will be an extended reading for this. There'll be a link in the description box to the Vimeo extended. And I am going to look into what's behind this and also what your best course of action is with this person. Because I can feel that this could be, it's a bit of a dead situation. It's a bit of a head-to-head and it's a bit of a frustrating situation for you, okay? There's a big difference between what this person feels like on the inside and what they display on the outside. If you were to ask their work colleagues what kind of a person they were, pretty punctual, pretty organised, pretty productive, quite like this, you know, living, colouring in, you know, keeping in the lines, definitely not experimenting, not giving themselves over to sentiment, not blurting out their feelings right, left and centre, God no. But inside they're vulnerable and they're messy and they're upset and they feel a bit hard done by, and they might not be right because I think you've tried to get through to this person, but you know, she's wearing a crown of thorns. I love that crown, it's beautiful. Now you're a softie as well inside, but I do feel you may have been tested with this person to the point where you sort of, do you know what? You shall not pass either. Okay. So where are we going with this? Romance Angel Oracle cards. Heart-to-heart conversations. Heart-to-heart conversations. Honestly discuss your feelings with each other. My God. I mean, even, and he looks about 16, this guy. Look at him. Look, she is trying to, this is what's happened. Tried to talk to this person and they're just giving you the 1,000-yard stare, you know, that. You know, are you there? Are you there? Do you have a heart? Prod, prod, prod. Okay. You've got these two little sort of little angels who are quite kind of amused. They seem very amused. I think they know what's going on, but these two people, she's really frustrated and he's got a face as long as next week, hasn't he? Okay. So really your question with this person is how to move out of this kind of deadlock where they're either not communicating at all, literally, or they are just so introspective and logical and into their work. Two of Wands, how to grow, this is where the person has got the globe in their hand and they're looking out over the horizons. And also Wands is about passion and creativity and growth and moving outwards. How can we how can we grow? How can we grow from here, I think is the question. That's what I'm going to look at in the extended reading for this. How can, if this person was butter, they definitely need melting, do you know what I mean, before they go in the cake, because they have this hard exterior, okay? I think they have good reason for it. I think they come from a difficult childhood, but nevertheless, I think you're finding it's difficult to get through to them, and their feelings for you are clearly a lot more complicated and a lot messier than they're admitting, okay? So I'm going to scooch over to Vimeo. Do join me, click the link in the description box, and I'm going to look into the Hermit, the Queen of Swords. I might look into their background a bit if I can get anything on that, and then what you can do to move forward and how you can soften this person down to have that heart-to-heart conversation. Okay, so do subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and I'll see you on the other side. Namaste. Hi there, number 3. You got the sweet little angel, didn't you? Okay, it's so gorgeous, isn't it? What do we need to know? How do they feel about you, number 3? Ooh. Wow. Okay. Creaky chair. Right, number 3. In the middle, I've got the Page of Swords and the Page of Pentacles. And they're back to back. Number 3, you might have been also attracted to number 2 because they also had 2 cards that were back to back. And like I said, in my pick a card readings, I think, I don't know what it is about them, but people are very often attracted to more than one number. And there's nothing wrong with that either, because actually I can see how these readings kind of do all fit together. Okay, 2 pages, Page of Pentacles, the Page of Patience, an earth sign, and the Page of Swords, an air sign. But also this might have something to do with children, teenage children for either of you. Particularly, I think, well, probably for you. If you are at the moment single and looking after children, it just feels like that might have something to do with your situation. This person sees you as some kind of angel or saviour. They might feel you're too good for them. How irritating is that? Okay, there's nothing worse than someone telling you you're too good for them. But there's a little inclusion in this as well. Oh, she's kind of praying from the side. Look, this little angel, I kind of had a feeling when I was setting out the pick a card piles that the people who choose this will have wings in a way. That there will be something sort of angelic about the people choosing it. And then we get this Major Arcana, the High Priestess, the female magician, the internal magician. You are a magic wand to this person, and that scares them a little, I think. You have knowledge. You know things. You know things. It's like they're looking at you and they're going, and I feel it's like a she. She knows things. She knows things. And you're like, yeah, I know things, but just things I know, you know, it's nothing too amazing. But to them, I feel they're a little bit frightened. They're a little bit, they feel a bit outclassed and they feel a bit outnumbered. Now, outnumbered might be literally if you've got children. It might be something to do with their feelings about family. It may be that they also have children. We've got these 2 pages that are kind of, they're back to back with each other. It's so weird. Which way round were they? Like that. Pages, you know, they are messengers, but just as a tarot reader, I do often see them as teenage children, or children from about the age of 10 up. And then we have this High Priestess with these 2 pages, who's kind of, you know, you've got this moon acting like a hammock. Feels like you're holding together. I do strongly, and I don't normally say this, but I do quite strongly feel this is for a female. It's the female holding a family together. So that might be your role at the moment. You may be sick to death of that and you're looking to blend a family with this person. But at the moment it's you, and you're kind of the magic for all of these people, whoever they are. For this person, who at the moment is a bit absent, I will be doing an extended reading for this, and the link will be in the description box. And I will go, I feel like saying, I will go searching for this person, because it feels like I would have to send out an emotional search party or a literal search party, because it feels like they're missing. It literally feels like they're missing. You're here. I've got, these can either be children or friends or dependents or whatever it is. There are others, okay? You're all here. You're kind of supporting each other and making a rather good job of it. And this person is kind of admiring from a distance. This could be a long distance relationship. It could also be a relationship that started on the internet, because to me that's like an emotional distance. Then we have Brian and Wendy Frood. We have the hero. This woman is both masculine and feminine, and she is also fierce. She is the kind of energy you get when you need to lift your car because your kid's going to get, you know, underneath it. It's that kind of superwoman energy, superhero energy, slaying dragons or putting the bins out or whatever it is, you know. Sometimes things are, you know, superhero energies are accumulative, aren't they? This person has a lot of admiration, but they seem to be admiring you from a distance. You seem to be desperately wanting them to be closer than that distance that they are. Now, this is either literally a physical distance or an emotional. I get the feeling it might be both. It's giving me a really itchy nose as well. I get the feeling it might be both. The question is with this, I suppose, what have they done for you lately is what it's that song, you know, what have you done for me lately? It's in my head now. From about, I don't know, it must have been like 1985. How old am I? You are very capable, people who've chosen number 3. You're very capable of sensing things. You're capable in the 3D of running things, you know, of keeping a household going or keeping a job going or whatever it is. You may be a teacher or work in a school or work with young people. There's this young people thing. It could be kids, it could be sisters, brothers, nieces, I don't know. But you're keeping more than yourself going. But I feel like you may be reaching a point with this person where you're asking, do they feel enough for me to be able to step up and become a real part of my life? You know, a genuine part of my life. Because the High Priestess is a very honourable role. You know, she's in the major arcana. We've got the Fool, and then the Fool becomes the Magician, and he learns the external masculine tricks of the trade. You know, he's got the 4 parts of the tarot on the table and he can manipulate them. He's the alchemist. And then we have the High Priestess, where the Fool then encounters this feminine energy of speaking in tongues and, you know, the high priestess at the oracle at Delphi, interpreting the vapors, interpreting the questions for other people, being the magic wand, being the spiritual glue. This person, when they're in your presence, feels like your magic rubs off on them and makes them a better person. But for some reason, they're not in your presence, and that's making me feel weird. That must be making you feel weird too. Because clearly you have when you are together, or when you were together, if you're not together now, you and this person, you were alchemical for this person. You softened them, and you may have even had like a telepathic system between you, or you could feel when they were upset, or you could feel what their childhood was like. You could feel, it's almost a clairvoyance. You might not have it so deeply with others, but you certainly had it for this person. And I feel like that fascinated and frightened them at the same time, which is very intriguing because they seem to be mute. I feel this distance. I feel that they're mute. I feel that they're silent. Okay. Romance Angel Oracle card you got was Love Yourself First. This is not something that you're very used to. I don't know why. It kind of has a woman looking like she's snogging a pirate in Love Yourself First. I don't know why that kind of shows self-love, but hey. Love yourself first. Your self-respect makes you more romantically attractive. Who cares if it does or it doesn't, actually? Love yourself first because you deserve love. Another card that isn't there yet, but you deserve it. You deserve to know from this person whether they're in or whether they're out. I just get the feeling with this. And this is where it's a bit different to number 1 and number 2. That you have your act together financially, life-wise, spiritually. You have, some of you may work in a spiritual field. You may be a tarot reader or a Reiki person or healer, or one of many other, light worker, anything like that. It feels like that. And yes, there is something about this person that brings that side out of you, but it just feels like it may be channeling one way, because I can't feel them channeling back to you, and I don't know why. We get the Swan. Beautiful card, but another card that shows underneath there's this mad peddling going on, but on the surface, elegant and beautiful. I think that's what you're doing. That's how they see you. They almost feel that you don't need them. And again, there is nothing more irritating than someone who feels you don't need them when you really do. You really do. Of course you're your own person. And yes, you've got it together, and yes, you're fierce, and yes, you're a hero, and all that kind of stuff. But at the same time, everybody is looking for love, or most people are looking for love, you know, to add to what is already a very great package, to be honest. I want to take another Brian and Wendy Frood card for that. In the extended reading for this, I'm going to go searching for this person, and I don't know if they will show up. You know, the tarot has its own way of doing things sometimes as well. But we can look. Oh! Well, that's interesting. Because that showed up for number 1. Ooh, and here's the rain. Okay. We get the Rocks. Now, the Rocks is a king who's slightly gone bad. He's a king who is very concerned about himself, or about what things have come to, or about how much he needs to do. And he also is a master, this king, of getting others to step in and do stuff for him because he seems to be incapable. Now, this person may be a bit like this themselves. They may seem emotionally a bit incapable, and to a certain extent it's not a lie. When you're around, everything kind of takes on more colour and everything makes more sense, and they make more sense to themselves. Now, some of you as well, because I also got the remembrance, and this might only be for one or two of you, they may have lost someone. This person may have lost someone, either early in their life, they lost a parent, or they've lost somebody. This is a shadow that seems to be playing out in their emotional makeup. They may not have told you about this, or you may know about it already. It feels like they don't talk about that very much, but it does feel like they talk about other things a lot. They may talk about their problems that really aren't very significant, because they don't want to talk about how they really feel about things or what's really happened to them. Granted, they have not had an easy life, this person. They've experienced some difficult things, but at the same time, I think what I'm going to look at in the extended reading is, where are they? What do they want? And can they genuinely bring something to the table for you in terms of how they really feel? Okay? Woof. So if you want to join me for the extended, I'm going to hop over to Vimeo and do that now, and the link's in the description box. And otherwise, do like, share, subscribe, and check out the playlist, because I'll be doing more pick a card readings soon, and maybe some more live readings as well. So do make sure you hit the wiggly bell, okay? Thank you to all of you, numbers 1, 2 and 3, and I'll be back soon. Namaste.